The destruction of Maui is completely insane, and I'm gonna get a little conspiratorial for a minute. First of all, these extremely strange green lasers appeared in the sky over Hawaii in January of this year, and NASA said it was most likely a Chinese pollution monitoring satellite. Yeah, okay. That satellite uses LiDAR imaging to detect atmospheric aerosols, but usually those lasers would be invisible. Whoever it was, why was there a literal grid of green lasers in the sky over Hawaii right before a major catastrophe? This photo is now making the rounds, inferring that the fires were started by some kind of directed energy weapon. Which, because I'm a psycho, I of course believe is a possibility, but not because of this photo. This picture actually entered the conversation about Maui when Stu Peters uploaded it to Twitter with no caption. He probably uploaded it with no caption because he's well aware the picture is actually a time-lapse photograph of a Falcon 9 launch. Well, that's according to other people on Twitter, so who knows. But the picture definitely existed on the internet well before any of the Maui fires. But it does kind of remind me of the hundreds of Canadian wildfires that started simultaneously earlier this year. Or this thermal imaging taken during the California wildfires seeming to show a beam coming down and igniting some of the fires. Or this footage taken just before and during the Mount Etna eruption in 2016, showing a beam coming down seeming to ignite the eruption. And the official narrative doesn't really exist yet. The media is saying it was brush fires intensified by hurricane force winds coming from Hurricane Dora, but I couldn't find any confirmation of any authorities confirming that it was brush fires in the first place, or what started the brush fires. The argument as to why the fire spread so quickly and why so many buildings seem to be flatly leveled is that the hurricane force winds caused a firestorm. But one thing hurricanes are also known for is extreme precipitation, rainfall. Can hurricanes have no rain? Sure. Outside the eye wall of a hurricane, rain bands spiral inwards towards the eye wall. These rain bands are capable of producing heavy rain and wind, and occasionally tornadoes. Sometimes there are gaps between the bands where no rain is found. So there's always rain, except for small gaps in between the bands, sometimes. But the weather services have been tracking Hurricane Dora since late July, so I don't know. But the absolute destruction of Lahaina is what's causing a lot of us conspiracy nuts to question things. I'm sure fire and wind are capable of intense destruction, but in a matter of hours, this entire town went from peaceful to almost completely leveled. Anytime directed energy weapons are mentioned, most people just think it's completely ridiculous and that they're not real, which I understand why you'd think that, but they're definitely real. This is the Boeing YAL-1, a megawatt-class airborne laser weapons system mounted inside a modified military Boeing 747. The first test flight of the YAL-1 was in 2002. That's just a single example that this is not a new idea. And that's probably nothing in comparison to classified weapons systems that exist today. I bring this up because a lot of people are starting to believe that we're currently in the next level of warfare, or fifth generational warfare. Wars over land, resources, supply chain, public perception, and other reasons fought primarily through non-kinetic military actions with high levels of deniability. All the food processing plants that have burnt down or exploded, the Ohio train derailment and ensuing chemical fire, and all the metal and chemical factories that have just blown up in the last year in North America have caused some people to speculate if all these disasters are connected to fifth generational warfare. So was Maui an unfortunate perfect storm of terrible once-in-a-lifetime atmospheric conditions, or the next casualty of fifth generational warfare? Let me know in the comments. Oh, you already did? I'm capping? Oh, okay.